tonight, so you know, we're gonna talk about it. See what we got tonight. Anybody show up? See what we working with. All right. We live tonight. We're gonna see what you think about this Al Green that stepped out of Donald Trump's. Turn your switches on. Hit them switches. Okay. I can't believe I didn't have that thing rolling. What's happening? How you doing? Well, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And the timing was perfect. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Now you can carry me for 1 hour. Can you carry me for 1 hour? Are you good for an hour? Let me know how long you good for tonight, because I definitely will be on. If you can carry me for an hour, that's all I need. He sure was. I just got on. Just had to get some stuff straight. Cool, cool. Let's chop it up. Whatever you want to talk about. I got that poll question up there lined up. I just sent the thing on YouTube, so we'll see though. But anyway, what's on your mind? How was your day? How's everything going? All right. Okay, let's do it. And then you mentioned, folks, I will, I might do another part. Good. Okay, I got somebody trolling also. I gotta get them up out of here. Can't hear it on here. We up here live having a good time. We're not gonna have no trolls tonight. Yeah, well, I remember all the ones you mentioned. You need some help because they were. Do you know the '90s was a so Ashanti came out late '90s. Kelly Price. s- Well, you want me to start with Kelly? I got a lot of Kelly. Same thing with Shantae Moore. Shantae Moore is the God, who's she married to that cat that used to be on BET? He was just with Tank and them an R&B podcast. She married that dude. Can't even think. I'm not. I can't. I know when I see him. He bald head brother. I can't even think. I go back with Shantae 30 years ago because she was on Silas Records. I remember when she first came out. She was actually with El DeBarge, and she did session work with Prince and Stevie Wonder, and of course with R. Kelly because uh, Contagious. She did the vocals with Ron Isley and R. So yeah, so Kelly Price, all that. So yeah, hmm they all share R. Kelly in common. All had a hit songs with R. Kelly. Probably mention those 3. Mhm. Yeah, I was doing soul singers overall, but if you wanted to do '90s, you talk about Mary J. Blige. Murdoch came out in the '80s. As Relay. She used to work with Roger Troutman. Shirley predated Kelly. She had a nice voice too. hmm She's on Computer Love too. hmm I know Roger Troutman. I don't know who no Samuel Troutman is, but uh, okay. You sure you're in the right place? Cause I'm. Mm. Anyway, good call, Charlene, on on Shirley Murdoch. Yes, a name you don't hear mentioned. You should though. She was bad. She was bad. hmm Back in the day, way back in the day, you bringing that way back. You start talking about 82. That's 43 years ago. So I have to think about movies. Yeah. It's been a minute. Next, you're gonna tell me about uh, uh, Ernie Hudson. 'Cause I'm having Ernie Hudson flashbacks. Anyway, well, you got some heads coming through. Okay, if you're coming on, feel free. Tell me where you come from, what's your name, what you want to talk about. Let's talk. Yeah, he was in Penitentiary 2. That's before he did Ghostbusters. What a versatile cat. Very versatile cat. You know, I liked him though. I do like Ernie's a good actor. He's kind of like in the Carl Weathers type of tip, the musclehead brother kind of roles. You know, but a good actor. It's okay. Just drop some, had to get it. It's all good. So anyway, I would like people's on her opinion. Well, he was a very strong A&R man who was able to hustle his label, which was amazing in itself because I only had like two and a half artists, unless you include Lord and Ashante, of course, Ashante Ja Rule, Charlene Baltimore when they were putting it out. He did have Seven Aquarius as the producer. Yeah. So who was it that said they were like Ike and Tina? Someone said that. Um, he basically got her, she was on the come up, and she liked a man that had pockets. And he was a sugar daddy, and you know, he was because remember he had that reality TV show, and he was openly messing with her too. Ain't no Scooby Doo mystery, but she was doing all that ghost work well, Jennifer Lopez and all this. Do you think the black community would have been better off long term if they said? I don't think Malcolm or Dr. King were wrong in what they said. I'll go back further than that. What about what Marcus Garvey said? The thing about it is Malcolm and Dr. King were kind of similar at the end of the turn. Dr. King wasn't passive the last time because he did want reparations. And the biggest thing that Malcolm was speaking to Elijah Muhammad, he did say that you have to acknowledge. So they both was fostering acknowledge. But Marcus Garvey was the one that was saying, create your own. That's the difference. Because you can make the case that Marcus's stance was even, as much as I hold them both in high regard. Dr. King, Malcolm, because there's room for all people's ways of philosophy. You know why? Because if they thought he was passive and nonviolent, they didn't think about it when they came and took him, got him, just like they did Malcolm. So, what does that tell you? Looked at you just the same, just like Fred Hampton. So, think about it. And Medgar Evers, come on now, just saying. So that's why I don't want to do any separating. This one was better than that because they both it was sacrifices. Think about it, and they've both been misused and sold in post. Just saying. So he did, but it wasn't any more than what Marcus Garvey had said. I just want to put that there. I want to put that there because Marcus Garvey had put that out there in a different way. So Malcolm changed, but he still was reflective about speaking about the truth, though. And that's the facts, though. Excuse me. They were more alike, though, at the end, though. If you saw Dr. King's speech in 67, 68, he wasn't passive. He wasn't sounding like he was, Pillsbury Doughboy and rolled up. Just saying. Some people got this connotation that he was just on some, you know. No, he changed. 60% saying cosign rep Al Green. We like that jelly bean. Okay, now if you out here, come on now. W. Du Bois Marcus Garvey was like, yeah. Well, you got to throw in Booker T. Washington too. Booker T was Booker T was pretty deep philosophical. As a matter of fact, Charlene, if you get a chance, there is a YouTuber. Her name is Ashley Says So. She's got a good segment on Booker T. Washington for Black History Month. But the funny thing about Booker T. Washington, my grandmother and folks had went to Hampton University, used to be Hampton Institute in Hampton, Virginia, and his whole thing was like, something to check out. But yeah, it was more like Booker T. W. Du Bois was like what you would almost say like an open Democrat. He had philosophies. Marcus Garvey was more radical than so. Mhm. But anyway, we get live on here. Thank you, Oregon Noble. We get live on here. We talk about a lot of different topics and depends on what the subject matter is, and we just get into it. So it ain't nothing but a thing. Ain't nothing but a thing. I couldn't help. And then think about it. If you're a representative and you walk out last night during a speech and your name is Al Green, oh, you know you're gonna get a shout out. You know you're gonna get a shout out. So just saying. Well, that's because of the slave. That's because of the plantation mindset. That's how that come about. Because this is where you got to stand up over the other, and they've done this forever and a day. They've done it forever and a day. That's all this Kendrick Drake mess is about. People don't even understand how they spend so much insignificant time putting this battle, a wasteless time of battle. But that's the media propaganda because they can't stand you. Well, them guys don't really phase me, if you must know. Umar strikes me like he can be bought and paid for. He's made some decent remarks, but he got some stuff to sideways and said it. And Tyreek too. I mean, this is the thing. If cats are sitting there uh, worrying about someone else's numbers as opposed to complimenting and uplifting, they're in it for the wrong reasons. There is no competition because the only person that you got to deal with is your shadow and your being. And you got to respect and, your honor. Now, but if you're up here, who you battling? Who are you battling? Because if you're getting excited about trying to have more clicks, views, and money, the only thing that you're getting excited about is some papers that are already owned on you, you know. So I don't, I don't subscribe to that point of view. Mm. So I don't do that. I think one of those ones on Superman. You or someone trying to be successful. You, I, I like certain things that he discusses. However, um, I'm not sold on any of them. And see, this is the thing. He's supposed to have that school going, but that's a whole nother story. I remember the elder Baba Rashan, who sometimes comes through here, and I do watch the elder show. Shout out to the elder. I watch folks, but I agree with TSP. I agree with TSP. And I'm not talking about where you are bought and paid off like you stand around like you Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson either. Or Farrakhan. Allegedly. I'm just saying, because I'll be watching folks. And you see, and people got too many hands on certain things that it's not that important. And too much of it is getting at to try to make you feel like, oh, it's manipulated. I know what TSP is talking about. It's pretty evident when you see a lot of them too. And I'll say it like this: if you for the cause, you never have to ever lead with something else. It's the way they go about saying certain things. All right, I'll put this thing on. Thanks for everybody that's coming through. We definitely getting some Wednesday's a pretty good night. You're good to good. All right. See what we got. I'm waiting for responses. Feel free. Feel free. Hmm. So when he said that he was trying to act like LeBron because LeBron got on stage with D Wade and Carmelo and was speaking out. And he had a couple things, but it's no comparison. LeBron ain't never lost nothing. My dude Rauf lost a career. LeBron ain't lost nothing. Well, we no it do no, I'll say this. Let me address that. I do care about race because it's like, can you respect our differences to make us inclusive? Because what if we were all an experiment to say that if I put people together on this place and I said that you have to be like this, how would you treat people? It do matter. If I put you in this context, how would you act towards them? What would you say towards them? Do you look like you better than? You know, I watched that speech last night. And you remember when Rep Green walked out and that white dude went, now how's a guy doing something like that? Cares about it all because if you're created in the light, it all matters. It all matters. I do. Because it has to be mattering because we were created in that light. That means that we all are reflected in that light. But there are people who don't want to accept that. If you don't see it all as clicking, it's a lesson. Have you ever had your parents or somebody that you knew and loved told you every day is school? Every day is school. If no one else told you, I'm gonna tell you right now, every day is school. Just because you don't hear no bell, just because you don't have to necessarily go into no building, don't mean that school ain't in session. And it's all being it's watched how you treat, how you react. Because think we tell you a true story. Some days you wake up black and you think everybody don't like you because of your race. Because people have put so much in doctrine, it can mess with you. I don't think to say victim, because I don't look at it like that. I think you're being the prey. I don't look at it. I think there's an honesty with vulnerability because you've been put in an unknown territory where you have to act a certain way, even though you're not wanted. And the wounds are deep, and people who are looking at you for something to feel justified in their actions, there's the victims. Say, but we are in the sense that when you have to deal with culture and when you have to deal with education and bringing the light, because there is a situation where you can be victim and you can also be the initiative. The initiative of pushing something that they have to talk about, they have to say because your reflection. The pushers today are pushermen. The quote Curtis Mayfield. I'm your pusher man. Because they putting out stuff, but they're working in concert. It's kind of like if I use rappers today. Who talks about anything? You know, who's pushing anything? You all you're doing today is pushing so-called billionaires. Billionaires of what? Where's the money going? Jay-Z ain't talking about nothing. He's pushing Super Bowl that money. Now the symbolism of his wife went and doing country is nice, but that's not breaking any barriers. I know. And it still comes down to getting into the club and getting into the clique. And some people find out the hard way. He always got something new. I tell you what they gonna get him on. They gonna get him on some probably some tax stuff. If they do, it's gonna be some funny money. That's what they get him on. You know, I have a problem I had with him is lying about his association with Diddy. I call him hardcore cap on that. Y'all might not have been like playing bowling together, but to sit there and act like I was just doing random with this guy when there's 20 years worth of pictures of you two together is preposterous. So I said, that's why he is not believable. Because if you lie about that, you're gonna lie about something bigger. Well, that's how it goes. And he's in an industry that act like they don't know you. Because I told you a few months ago, I saw Clive Davis out somewhere on camera, and They said, "How's Diddy?" He go, "Who?" They said, "Sean Puff." He go, "Who?" Now, granted, Clive might be 92, 93, but he acting like he knew who Babyface was. He don't know Diddy now. Mhm. Oh, yeah. Well, it's all business, though. It's all business. Yeah, Jay-Z be hanging out with Warren Buffett and them. He bought and paid for 'em. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. And like I said, I'm not wishing for people thinking that I'm just no, it's not wishing on nobody, but I know that his business is janky though. I do know the energy don't feel right. And see, I didn't seen enough of this industry and this business. It's just a matter of time. He say the wrong thing, money get funny. Watch. You'll see. And they don't miss when they want you. They take you out. Mm. All right, we on a roll tonight. Things are really cooking tonight. My God. No, they'll never know what that feel like. Now, there is nobody that I seen that's gonna know what that's like. Because he, Mike Epps said it best. He was the only one that really got to the table. They don't have anyone that's gone where he's gone. They may have had made more money. They may have had, but they didn't have what he had. None of them own the masters and the publishing like he did. None of them were in a situation like where they would speak out. What he had to represent. No, they'll never know. I'm have to tell you right now. No. This man had to fight against racism in the music industry, MTV, the whole nine. They don't know. They don't know. They're not known worldwide like he was. They didn't have they working for him. They may working for feds and stuff, but he had to be they were under him. They had him under a microscope all his career. No one's had it like Michael did. No. He was a movement. So I had to shut that down. Jay-Z ain't no movement. He's been wildly successful, but he ain't no movement. Michael Jackson was a movement, you know. He was in an industry that he did that's all he knew. But he was in it like that. It's a big difference. As big as Drake is, he don't know nothing about no Michael Jackson life. Mm-mm. None of them do. Thank you, TSP. That's what I'm trying to tell her. Ain't nothing like it because we were talking about we talking about real big money. Diddy's situation was big, but he ain't have no Michael Jackson hit. Not with that kind of conglomerate. Jay Z neither. See, Diddy got caught buying the right places and things. So he was able to, Jay-Z bought into portfolios, but they weren't where Michael Jackson was. So impactful to me, Michael Jackson. But I can understand why you'd say Bob Marley, and I'll tell you why. He's one of the few artists that's got a whole genre of music. And when you think of reggae, you think of Bob Marley. You think about what he meant for Jamaica. You think about what he meant to Island Records, the whole thing. He's a brand. So that's the one thing he's got going. The difference is that Michael Jackson changed the course of music as a child and as an adult. And he was known worldwide. And I was at a party recently with my mask on, by the way, but it was a party. They played both of them. And they're from the islands and they dance to Bob Marley. But when they played Rock With You by Michael Jackson, they were all singing the chorus and getting into it. I'm just telling you. Um, he's the most dominant artist of my lifetime. The most dominant. So, but think about what you put. You mentioned those two together. You didn't put just anybody just random together either. There's a certain way they just hit. So, okay. This thing is 50% now? Mhm. Before that at TSP, go back to the Jackson 5 because the Osmonds and Donny Osmond go back. We're gonna go back to Jackson 5. By the time he get off the wall and all that, that was just that go back. Oh yeah, he head to toe. That's what I meant by dominance. 8 to 88. But I will say this in Bob Marley's favor. He was an impactful singer-songwriter. I think one of those CIAs, it's a video where he said that they were trying to get Marley about. He was impactful. And, he had an impact. You know, I'm picking Michael, but I'm not gonna sit here and act like Marley didn't have impact. He's only gotten better, bigger over time. They've been trying to wine cooler him now. He was bad. He was bad. You sing a songwriter. Yeah, there's a video on that. You went to look into it. CIA dude talked about him. Hmm. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's what I said. He single handedly, you know, is like the first thing if you say reggae, you know, he really is. And I like his stuff. You know. Yeah. Mhm. Okay. That's all true. He left a lasting impact. We sure do. Well, the thing about him, his dominance is it's unparalleled. Maybe Stevie Wonder's album Run, but the way he made people feel. I remember growing up, going to the mall. People go shopping, and his videos come on. And if you were a pocket snatcher, you be cleaning out. They be glued on him. Uncanny charisma. So it's just musical dominance and set a standard. Trying to think. Yeah. Well, he learned from the best. His dad was sharp. He watched Barry Gordy. He watched Gamble Huff. I was working with Quincy Jones. He was ready to plot and plan. Mm. Yeah, like I said, that was a great quote, though. That's when I said dominance because it was incredible the way he was able to just connect. Yeah, there were some people who didn't like it. Some people who are, but it's one of those things. He had some people that stopped messing with him. Trends and things come and go. But most industry doesn't like one another. It's a business for a reason. They don't make friends. They make money together. They didn't like him because they were told how to be upstairs that can't support him. Mm, sure don't. Mm. Did I ask this question before about Serena's skin? She looks later. Yeah, you have, and I can't get the whole gist of it. Well, they see this is the thing why they get carte blanche. They put money on you. Now, how you gonna make our money back? And you can never make it back. So you gotta beat them with money. No, that's a chance you take. But if they were honest about the business and honest with the artist, you wouldn't have people looking like they lost. And that's the sad part we got. And we got some people that are lost. And this industry be selling them out and they be doing strange things. They usually that ain't last one I listened to Kendrick Lamar's and Ice Cube's that came out last year. Those are last two. So I be listening. Don't mean I be liking it, and I don't always talk about it. I did do a review. I did talk about both records. Cube's album was just too long, but he had some cuts that I like, but it's not the same. Not bad, not great. Kendrick's was trying to channel 82. It was alright. Not good, not great. Changing your nose and then your African features but people don't really seem to be holding nothing on people no more with that. Mm. In some cases, yeah. So we got oh yeah, people get addicted to it all the time. But they also in a very cosmetic world. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm just waiting. It's a delay. If you keep talking, I'm good. I am just waiting. So keep it going. Come on. I just need you to keep talking. Cause I'm having to like adjust everything. I'm fine. As long as the conversation is going, I'm good. If you won't, if we keep on rolling, it's just that when it gets downtime, that's when I get kind of, I'm fine. I did when it came out. And he was trying to channel 82. It was mixed, you know. Well, she was trying to say she wasn't because she didn't want to come across like a 304. And when she said he had many women, she wasn't lying because Herb got around. Herb got around. And the thing was, she wanted to be kept. That's in part why she back with Nelly. See, when you're industry, and think about it, Nelly got on the rebound 20 years, 10, 15 years later. When you're in the industry, that's why industry women don't really excite me. Because all that stuff is bought and paid for. And they are only as good as the last of the good. But when someone ain't got no use for them, and they always messing with people in the industry. If you've not noticed it, you think I'm lying, right? You think Ashanti's gonna mess with the dude that works at Costco? The dude that's working at McDonald's, the front counter? Do you think so? I'm just gonna keep it 100 because they both had some unfinished business. And Nelly was messing with different chicks, but it wasn't happening. And Ashanti caught feelings, but she was only gonna mess with somebody that really piqued her, you know. So, but that's what I mean being kept. It can happen, but they are in an industry. So it's not surprising. You never ever really think anything is over until they say it's over. You never know. All right, now. This is what I'm talking about. Let's keep it going. I need to keep on hitting these conversations up. 50% cosign. Nico did what the master told him to do. Okay, I'll just tell it like it is, since this is live and I'm about to come really awake. Since you thought I'm awake now, you didn't see it, something that got me. Okay, let me tell you what I know. Luca and Jason Kidd fell out, and he was sloppy. He didn't have no attitude. He had an attitude like he was just going through the motions. See, I think he's fake. That's one of the reasons why it's perfect that he's playing with LeBron, because they both fake the funk. So it's perfect that they tag team. Luca didn't act like a guy who lost the championship last year. He came back this year all slobby, and he always does this mess. He sucks for the first 20 some games. He's lethargic, hurt, overeating, all that. Then by game 43 or something, then all of a sudden he wakes up. Does the same old mess. Now because he's in LA and he got traded, he got a wake up call. So now everybody's talking about, oh, you 25. No one was writing him going to no chip this year. Nico did what was told to do. That's what's up. Charlene, it happens in real life. There have been people that have gotten back. It's strange as it sounds. Because sometimes the grass ain't as green out there. Sometimes the people that you think you're gonna be with, it don't work out. And sometimes some people's money be funny. It's a lot of reasons. Yeah, it's a strange thing. Cause I mean, relationships are work. Mhm. They went against the better team. Jason Tatum hit him upside the head so quick. Not just to Jalen Brown hit him upside the head so quick, and Porzingis was too much for him. Porzingis was playing with Luca. Remember how that turned out? Remember? And Luca had Brunson. So he exactly was a good leader. I'm gonna tell you, it came to Jason Kidd. Think what they saw as this dude was pudgy, arrogant, and he was half-hearted. And he didn't have the mindset that, like, I want to get that chip next year. That's what happened. Well, what happened? He fell out with Jason Kidd. They don't want to put it on J Kidd because Jason Kidd, they gonna, the GM's got to be the fall guy. Even though the owner and the kid, they obviously said, "Mm-mm, it ain't happening." Oh, well, what happens is, you know how so relationships, and then you deal with technology and all that. Nobody wants to go through happen to play the game because it changes. People out here be acting. People don't want to get caught out here. Sucker bait. So, it's a lot of game that goes on. A lot of game. But yeah, he only had one good game in the finals. Yeah, and if you don't keep communication, you because I tell people all the time, y'all gotta stop thinking that all touching and feeling is all you're gonna get tired. You gotta be able to collect. You gotta collect the data and you gotta find the funny, you gotta find the new, you gotta find things, you gotta do things, you gotta make it gotta work on it. So that's what people get it mixed up. And sometimes people gotta be apart to get back to see things. That's what happened with Nelly and Burp. But she does seem like she's good PR for Nelly right now. He's up there doing the Trump speeches and he's up there with all his situations. So yeah, you know. And I think she did use Nelly the first to make Herb jealous, but then she actually caught feelings. Business is so tricky and so fake. So don't be surprised about nothing. Don't be surprised about nothing. It's like that in any type of relationship. Think about LeBron and AD, TSP. It was done by Adam Silver. You know, we got all these threes. We can't change it. What we gonna do? Let's go to the drawing board. How we gonna make this work? What we gonna do? Wait a minute. Let's make a trade. Do you know they talk about how much they got the parity? Do you really think they want OKC and Cleveland in the finals? Do you really think that's what they want? So this stuff ain't by accident. And mark my word, John Morant's gonna be on the big name squad. If Zion Williamson can put the buffet down, he'll be moved. Jokic could maybe Giannis. Don't be surprised. Gonna be a few moves coming. It doesn't leave and come back, but sometimes it needs to go find itself to make its way back, if that makes any sense. And sometimes it don't know how good it had it, so it has to experiment with all the fruits and berries. Nelly was a wild one, and Ashanti was for them streets, so they was destined, you know. Cause think about it. If she don't mess with Nelly, she's stuck with her pretty much or something. So it's gonna have to be a certain caliber. Yeah, you have to understand what it means. You have to, because it does take a different meaning, different connotation. But as you get older and you get more maturation in your life and you get more balance and structure, you understand it takes a connotation that you have to evolve. But the true love starts with yourself before you love anybody. And then when you're taking on that perspective, you have to find a way to edify the other person, to be humble, to understand the blessing of it, but don't insult the intelligence of it. Takes a lot of work and takes you back and it will humble you and it takes you to school. But it means forever that you take, that you will have to make the ultimate sacrifices with everything. And we can say what we love, but do we really love making those sacrifices? Do we really love giving up ourselves spiritually, physically, mentally, economically? Or we could with that. But you got different people with different opinions on it though. So Pretty profound. What we got? That and also just stay humble and be willing to learn. Don't be afraid to say you don't know either. My favorite athletes ever? Oh wow. Well, okay, that's good. Boxing Jack Johnson. Um Jesse Owens, Carl Lewis, Jim Brown, OJ Simpson, Bo Jackson, Deion Sanders, Barry Bonds, Reggie Jackson, Greg Maddox, Ricky Henderson, Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell. Because I'm just talking athletics. They are athletic as all get out. Shaquille O'Neal, athletic. Steph Curry, athletic. Curly Neal, Mudlock Lemon, Globetrotters. Wayne Gretzky, athletic. Tiger Woods, athletic. Let's see. Hmm. Uh, Simone Biles, Serena and Venus, Arthur Ashe, Roger Federer, Djokovic, Nadal. They were very athletic. I gotta say Tiger Woods because he made golf more athletic than anybody I'd ever seen. Yeah, he was. Um, Dave Winfield, Jackie Robinson. Um, what else would I say? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But they're athletic though, so to answer your question, that I respect it, that I like. I could say Daryl Green, and I could say Jerry Rice. I loved Hank Aaron, but if I'm going back in the old school, I'm taking Willie Mays over twice on Monday and three times on Thursday. Because to say "Hey Kid" was better. He was all around. But I like Hank Aaron a lot. Got a lot of respect for him. But I was more say hey. Mhm. Hank's a great choice though. He's a great choice. I got his book too. I never had it made. It's the TBS had that documentary back in '91. I think Denzel Washington did that. Hmm. Yeah. Well, he may not have been the home run king if they both play on the same team, but Hank was great. Class guy. Class guy. Nope. Mm. Yeah. $50 was a lot of money back then. Mm, mm, mm. Both great, talented, dominant, but I remember Jordan saying he didn't want to end up like Willie Mays at the end of his career with the ball landing was his, which he did with the Washington Wizards. So, mm, mm, mm. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that one. Mm. I hadn't even heard. I've never heard anyone would say to put thought amazing Jordan the same. But it's cool. It's all fair. Godfrey, who's going back on Vlad? Who's going back on Vlad? Mhm. I don't even know about that one. Huh. Why would he go back on Vlad when he's got a successful podcast? I watch Godfrey. Godfrey's doing great. I don't know. Because Jamar got caught a major L because he got caught on Neil deGrasse about the Earth flat mess, and he didn't love, and he's petty, and he just made himself into a joke. I agree with him about Eminem and all that, but this other mess he be going on about, and that whole thing about Kamala being a woman, he couldn't listen to her and all that. And I'm through with Jamar. He's sold out. If I'm taking Dr. J or Shaq, that's a no brainer. I'm taking Shaq. And look, I hold Dr. J in high regard, but you can't teach size, yo. You can't teach size. You can't teach size. And I love Dr. J. Love Dr. J. But come on now. Shaq had three incarnations. Doc had two. Now ABA Dr. J was arguably top five or six ever. He was a handful. But that Shaq that was in Orlando was considered one of the 50 greatest. That one that one in LA, had he retired, would have been the two to three greatest argument ever. And the one in Miami would have been considered a great on the lower end. So you're talking about a guy that had multiple careers. Dr. J had two great runs, ABA and of course in Philly. And I would have been interesting if he gets to play in what era he gets to play in. Now I do hold him in high regard. I hold him in high regard. But it's hard to take anybody over Shaq. Especially if it's prime to prime. It's hard. Yeah, I heard all that shine. Yeah. I think the only difference that between Dr. J and Shaq, the only reason why Dr. J would have a chance over it is because he came in with a ballsy attitude, and he really did. What he accomplished was incredible with Daryl Dawkins, with Bibi. Hmm. Well, it depends on which one you're talking about. I think that's the best form that's out here because they not gonna go do corporate, so they do pie. It depends on who we're talking about. You got to give me a name, and then I can address that. Yeah, and he did that in Orlando, which was considered hillbilly Bucktown. That's why Jerry West came on the white horse and got him up out of there. Think about it. And he did that with Brian Hill. And you don't most people only know Benny Hill. They don't know Brian Hill. You could play the da na 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 na, and they think that's who his coach was. So think about it. They were a no structure team with the kid that was raw bone. Reggie Wright with Bomb First, which I do watch. He's got a book he's trying to promote. There's some things that he says, and then there's sometimes he just comes across like a hypocrite with some of the stuff because he be cursing all the time and he's still talking that lingo and he's still trying to protect Suge and still trying to be down with the streets. I like some things he sees. I watch the show, some things. But then when he's talking about Diddy or if he's talking about Snoop and them, the thing is this, they all got something to sell. Bodyguards now are the end thing and they got stories. And of course, they got stories and they got stories. And they saw a lot of stuff too. They need to be careful they don't get themselves implemented. That's all I'm saying. Indicted because you keep talking, somebody be watching. Um, all of them do. I think I know where you're going with that. But it's kind of like with Snoop Dogg with the free agent. Oh yeah, they very much guilty of what they saw. The difference between Shaq and LeBron though is that Shaq didn't have the luxury to reset with everybody to catch him in his peak or prime, along with how he took care of himself. He didn't have that luxury. It's a different hit of NBA than it is now. Yeah. They put wood on Shaq or they tried to. They did everything to try to jar him. Um, LeBron came up and had a lot more working for him. I watched because I caught with Bill Simmons and Bob Ryan. Bob Ryan always trying to stir something up. That's the one reason why I don't really want to wait. I want to watch it, but I don't. I've been keeping up with anything the Celtics related though for a few years because Cornbread Maxwell got a podcast and he's had Robert Parrish and all of them on there. So they talk. Kevin McHale, they talk openly. Nothing too revolving revelation for me. If you kept up with the Celtics, if you kept up with Russell and Arbach and what they thought and how Bob Cousy was as a GM and what he tried to do, try to send Oscar Robertson to the Lakers, Oscar turned it down, all that. So all that stuff be coming out, you know, you know. So no. So yeah, I watched it. I watched some of it. And I watched quite a bit of Celtics, you know. So You get tired if you have to hear Bob Rhino go on one of them diatribes, like, oh, because he's like Mad Dog Russo, and he gets on one of his spiels, and then it's like, let me take you to the Boston Garden. Do you think good our chance against Russell Celtics? No. People don't realize how bad Bill Russell was. They'll never get to understand how you take it for granted. And I made this point on this live stream. I said it's just like Floyd Mayweather. Till you get in the ring with him, you think, oh, I'm gonna do this, and then he puts you to sleep. And he don't even put you to sleep the way you would think he would get put to sleep. He put you to sleep in another way. Russell always had another option to utilize. I think it would have been. I think he'd have really had to play out his mind to beat them, though. But Russell always had that cold laugh when he says, "You ain't have to go against me." You remember he was going against Will Chamberlain, and then despite how many All Stars and all the stuff he had to carry his weight. Bill Russell was a mentalist, y'all. I don't think it's easier said than done. That's all I'm gonna say. Easier said than done. I like it when people always act like they just look at him and say, "Oh, that shraggy beard." We're gonna run. No, Bill wasn't gonna lay down for nobody. Kareem would probably lost a couple before he figured out what he had to do, but it would have been a climb. So anyway, we are just waiting to see what we got. Uh, Okay, where everybody go? I just answered this question. I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. Oh, I don't know. 50 ain't gonna be 50 unless he got issue with everybody. That's how it kind of goes. Probably was over some girl. Probably was. It wasn't over no beat because neither one of them had a hit in 10 years or so. So it wasn't over a beat. Yeah. I just think that they both, doing too much. And I don't have a dog in the race either. It's hard to argue against Ali. It really is. He finds way, he's timeless. Unless of course they can blow up Jake Paul. And they believe me, if they could, they would. He thought he did him dirty in his career as far as sabotaging the radio. He don't like Jay Z from a musical stuff. How Jay Z tried to come at him with that. The Diddy's because Diddy was offering to buy him clothes, treat him, treat him like a dish. So serve him up. So that was a little bit hit different. Mm, I think it's business related. That's back when Jay was kind of come up with that song "How to Rob," and Jay Z took some shine at took a sh- took some bars at him, and they had a little tension. Herb did. Okay, I'm gonna tell you like this, right? I done hung out with my homeboys, right? You might buy because I'm a vegetarian, so you might buy me a veggie burger, some fries, maybe buy some food, right? Cool. You know, maybe a football cap or something. It's it's like you buying something. But he went up to the way the story is, Diddy went up to Fetty like a woman, like a proposition, like, let me buy you some clothes. And Diddy wasn't just talking about hooking him up with some shoes, some kicks, or a cap, he was like, well, they go back to when back with Herb, because Herb and Radio wasn't trying to help out Fetty with Josh, so and Jay-Z took sides, of course. Yeah. He did, and he again, that's all tied to Herb allegedly and all that. And he made no qualms about how he felt about Herb. So, yeah. What was that my touch? Nevertheless, I believe. I can tolerate some of 50. Kanye is just saying what Kanye says. He's trying to sell something. No one takes him seriously. No one takes him seriously. And there's gonna be a time when they just tune him out completely. We ain't no more good for business. Mm. He's always said off the wall things. Problem with him is that I'm gonna tell it like this if you want my honest opinion. It's kind of like, have you ever seen Scarface and Al Pacino was he's sitting at the table, he's like, this is what it is, this is what you do, this is what you do, this is what it is. And I'll say it another term I remember. When Prince said, I seen the top and it was just a dream. He had the hottest woman in entertainment with Kim Kardashian, check. He was with the hottest label with Rockefeller, with association with Jay-Z, check. He was selling clothes, check. Shoes, check. All the things that you would dream of to thinking that you had made it, and it didn't fulfill nothing. Yep. And see, that's kind of like when I see a cat that's almost self-sabotaging, he's not the first. He's not the first. I saw Michael Jackson do it. I saw Prince do it. I've seen this routine before. Not they didn't go deep in like, well, to some people they went deep. That's in codes. It's in codes. It's in codes. It's a mentalist move. No, it wasn't the Katrina stuff that had him marked. He said a remark that people saw, but it didn't land. Even when he said it about Katrina, did you think he was gonna turn into Sinead O'Connor? No, no. They embraced him and welcomed him in. You work with, you saw the things that were coming in. Yeah, that's how I look at it. I think it's his cry to saying that the business ain't cracked up to be what you think it is. But he's got to talk about it in code. He's not all gone like people think. He's just talking in code. Times you got to read the room and remember things, then it makes some sense. No, stop this. No, 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 not even close. He's entertaining, but like Quincy Jones said, tell him to write up a chart, a real chart, you know, for people who are quick to use that label. There's nothing that's changed. He didn't change the trajectory of music. He was a successful producer, beat maker as an artist, but even bigger as an entrepreneurship. Yes, because it's done in codes. And I've seen artists do this before. They talk very cryptic, act very off, and find ways to kind of throw names and cliches and stuff there. And what they're really doing is giving you a monopoly board about how it really goes down. Well, I'm gonna say it like this. It's because you're in an era where people A don't have anyone to properly show them the credits of the yesteryear because people's attention spans ain't but so much now. And so they have hip hop has been seen as fast food, quick turnover, and that's how people look. And they don't have people that respect older R&B music. So that's what you got. He came in an era though, to his credit, he was a beat maker who turned into an artist who blew up when he happened to have this charisma. He does. That's what got him over. Oh, he was all right rapper. He had that bongo beat, but he had this charisma that kind of caught on. That's what happened. And it worked. He looked like a cat that was not only a college dropout, but a cat that somebody could kind of relate to. He had some funny lines. He'd say some off stuff, and it worked like a charm for a while. So when you do the things he did, he got rewarded. Should be real soon. He made his mark. I'm not gonna say he didn't make his mark, you know, but once he got saw that it ain't, it's a business. No, no, no. That's probably the one most people get excited about too. Everything with him until his mother transitioned, people took him serious. That 808 thing is what people got divided. Some of them like the dark fantasy. Well, you can be a genius with how you type. You can be a genius in what you say. I don't see anything great about him. None. I mean, I'll say it like this. If you asked me the last 25 years ago, there was a time I would have said early 2000 stuff by R. Kelly was tight. That TP2, Chocolate Factory, I like that. Outcast couldn't do no wrong back then. Those two in particular. Um, I don't like albums by him, but I like some songs by Bruno Mars. I did like Dead Prez record too. Mhm. And then I liked, mm, yeah, I don't. I mean, to be honest with you, the '90s was the last year as far as I'm concerned because it was the last time you bought records that you cared about them. Yeah. Yeah, I heard about his workout routine, and I think he did yoga too, because along with working out with Bruce Lee too. He had incredible, stamina and athleticism and stuff he would do. Yeah. He had a strong presence, and you know, he stayed in the right spot as far as what he was working on, his technique. Yeah. Well, no, Imma say it like this, they all entertainers, um, stylists. Jennifer Lopez's situation, she did do the movie Selena. Well, she couldn't sing, but, never stopped you from being a stylist, but hey, if people buy your records and they feel you, you know. Britney Spears was a musical movement. Even though she wasn't the best vocalist, she had a certain aura about her. Sad how it turned out, sad. Christina could sing, but Christina had no discipline. Had she been held the right way vocally, she'd be following Linda Ronstadt, Natalie Cole's shoes. Destiny Child was destined for a short term. Look like it felt like it could have been the female version of B2K, except they blew up. And Beyonce had that it. That was the difference. Catchy songs. Some of it, I wasn't the biggest fan of. NSYNC, it was alright. They had a couple songs. Backstreet Boys actually had a couple decent songs. They actually had harmony, but no one stood out. Yeah, musically speaking, Britney had some catchy songs. They all had catchy songs. Yeah, it was. But Imma say it like this, it was some stuff that was catchy. Backstreet had some catchy songs. "Quit Playing Games with My Heart" was catchy. They had some catchy songs. They had some catchy hooks. It doesn't matter where it's geared towards. If the song is catchy, you'll find yourself going bump, 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 or something. You know, you know. Right. Mm. Mm. I think to answer that question, after what happened with Michael Jackson in the '90s, I think that's where it was going towards. And you remember Hanson came out with Bop, and the kid was like almost definitely trying to challenge the Jackson 5 because Teddy Riley did the remix to Bop. That came out in '97. So it was always there. So, But Madonna didn't have any bearing on it. She wasn't seen as a she was seen, but she wasn't. That was more of a reflection of Michael Jackson, the teen sensation. Britney was seen as maybe the next part for that. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Because remember, it was Britney, Madonna, and Christina on stage in '03 at the MTV Music Awards with that infamous kiss. I'll give you that. But they weren't going to be put in I know Timberlake worked with Madonna and all that, but they were not like that. So, see what we think. She was. I had a big old discussion with a cousin of mine about that. I said, yeah, up until 2003, Britney was kicking that butt. She was bigger. Britney and Christina. Um, Ashanti was more of the hood version. She was big in the hood. She had hits, but she never had that crossover. She didn't get that pull. Not like that. Alicia had gotten that pull. They pushed her out the first record with the hype machine, all that. So okay. I'm thinking about I might come back on tomorrow around this time. So I'm going to call it a night because I gotta go eat. I'm getting hungry. And we definitely had a good live debate tonight. 62% cosign. Like the poll. And will you be on tomorrow night? Like the same time when I came on tomorrow, Charlene? Will you be on around the same time? I don't know what happened with TSP. I was awake. It's just that the questions sometimes when they come through. So I kind of like, as long as you keep the questions coming, I'm good. As long as you keep the questions going and we talking, I'm good. Okay. So the same time tomorrow I'll be on. It'll be later like that. All right, cool. We'll do it tomorrow. I appreciate you keeping me on for the whole hour. It was great. That's some great conversations, great topics, great hearing from you. And I got more videos and everything coming up. Appreciate you always for the support, everything. And some good questions you asked. Real good questions you asked. Because I remember when they all were popping. Forgot to mention NDRE. She was big, but then they gave all the money to Alicia Keys. And if you want to throw Angie Stone in there too, rest in peace. She's with Jay Rucker. She was on the same label with Alicia now. Remember all that like yesterday. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's what happened with all that though. Yeah. Thought I'd throw that name on there. And we definitely had some good topics. Yep. Angie Stones with Jay Ruckers. But Clive had already decided where he's gonna put the money. You know. He had him hooked up. Yep. Had all that hooked up. That's how it went though. All right. So anyway, appreciate everyone that came through. We'll be back tomorrow. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. Thank you always. Appreciate it. And looking forward to tomorrow. All right. I'm out one time. Peace.